It's a reciprocated thing. It feeds back into itself. The media shows people what people want to see, and then people want to see what the media is showing, because that's the shit that we choose.
So Steven, the media doesn't push fraudulent stories?
If the media is pushing fraudulent stories, it's because people want to hear it.
His name was Trump.
Oh, God.
I'm just saying.
When you left school, you could unplug from social life. If you weren't hanging out with friends, you could actually go home and be like, oh, okay, like today sucked, but nowadays, man, you don't have an escape from any of that shit. You motherfuckers have phones constantly. You got social media, you got Twitter, you got Instagram, you got Snapchat, you got WhatsApp, you got fucking Facebook. Like, you're constantly connected, and you have all those constant pressures of like the socialization and everything. And dude, I just can't imagine how toxic the snowballing is of all of that shit into every facet of your life.
So Dave did a Netflix special just recently, and a pretty huge portion of it was commentary on the kind of cancel culture, especially around trans people, and particularly him being labeled as a transphobic person. And this is like most of the special being about this. Got a ton of backlash, and Netflix employees walked out and had a huge protest. Not like to say a huge protest, like I guess some of them walked out, and there was a protest about it, and they asked for Dave Chappelle to be canceled. The CEO of Netflix basically stood behind Dave Chappelle, said, yeah, we're kind of sorry you feel that way, we're not removing the special. Then people came back at him because they said, well, you guys didn't remove that one about children, the cutie special. And so this has just been a back and forth right now going on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's basically what happened. So the kind of question and topic here, I want to start this off because I think I have something for you guys. Like, I watched the whole special twice.
So did I.
And we talked on this show, and I've actually had the opinion that like comedy should be protected. Like comedy is one of the very few places where we can have a discourse that allows us to, as a society, like deal and tackle with these really difficult issues. Now, that said, when watching that special 2 times, that did not feel 100% like a comedy show to me. So just to take the other edge of it, it felt like to me like a commentary on socio-political issues, like just straight up.
Yeah.
And
like
there
a
were
lesson too, right?
There wasn't a lot of like laughs to it, or and like it was a little bit like Dave had a little bit of that. But it really like the all the way through, it didn't feel like a Jim Jeffries special or a Bill or even
Devin, you speaking the truth, bro.
Or even a Bill special, right? Like, or anything like that. Like, and so if we're gonna step out, how far are we gonna go if we step out of the realm of comedy where we start taking Dave Chappelle as like a sociopolitical commentator versus
the only thing I would be careful of is that, like, I would argue that all great comedians are socio-political commentators. Like,
to some extent,
Bill Burr
like,
absolutely does. Even Louis C.K. does. Richard Pryor absolutely did. George Carlin absolutely did.
For sure.
I think that part of the best comedians are usually the ones that are able to like interweave kind of like these jokes with the more true stories. And even historically, you know, some of Dave Chappelle's funniest bits have woven, like very serious socio-political topics with kind of jokes, right? Like his How Old Is 15 Really? Comparing Elizabeth Smart to the 15-year-old black kid, the wrestling dude that killed his friend on accident or paralyzed his friend or whatever, right? Yeah, that's definitely a case. I don't think that like all comedy should be protected, because obviously like if you get on stage, you start screaming a bunch of racial slurs, like, oh, well, it's comedy, right? That doesn't really work. But I do think that one thing that's really hard is right now it's pretty obvious that there is a certain political faction that kind of predominantly controls a lot of the mainstream like entertainment media. And it is very, very, very hard to have any conversations about anything that's kind of a like dogmatic mainstream ideology without just absolutely getting fucking destroyed. Because the political discourse on places like Twitter is way, way, way to the far left of where the average American citizen is, you know? Like half this country doesn't even believe that like trans people are real. But when you go on Twitter, people are arguing about whether or not you can identify as like an autistic alien or not as a gender,
People
right? It's like
no.
Yeah, it's a totally different world of conversation. And then people online are like, why isn't everybody in the real life caught up to us? And it's like, okay, well, these guys aren't like shit posting on Twitter all day. Like they don't know anything about the fucking talking
people
about.
People are not just sitting on the internet all day. But I mean, it definitely was a tough thing because
I think where Dave missed it, I used to. Yeah, go ahead.
No, that's it. It's just a tough topic to talk about, really.
Well, I think it was. Sorry, John.
No, go ahead, Dave.
I think it was Sticks and Stones, which still covered a lot of these issues. Like that special did what Destiny's talking about better at IMO. Like it tied in the comedic aspect to covering these sensitive issues. Whereas like the way the special, God, like I'm not trying to attack him. I'm not trying to come at him. I love Dave. I've watched all of his specials. It didn't feel like to me that like that line that Destiny's talking about. It felt like it was a little bit more on the other end and a little bit away from it.
This is the thing also too is like,
yeah, go ahead.
Train, you had said it earlier. The even Dave kind of said it. He didn't really know what was going on with his friend's life, so he did like. It would be tough to say directly that the Twitter posting made him commit suicide. Right. You know, like Dave kind of says that in it, and I can tell that like he kind of treads lightly on it. Like Dave's like, "Yo, I'm just letting you know, I'm not saying that it's directly directed to the death, but the death happened after the Twitter thing."
Yeah, the only thing,
it's like the person could have been going through something. And he made it like a whole statement. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I just want to finish. Like, I don't think that. It was so direct. You know what I mean? And I think that's like the one side too. It's like,
yeah, I think the only thing Dave missed. I used to run trans events for the company Blueprint in Vancouver, and they were never sensitive. The trans community, you know, they're just having fun. What he missed is a lot of these articles, the sensitive articles, come from mainstream media, right? And then people are like, "Oh, I must be outraged for this." So the hit piece comes first, and then the outrage. My take one.
I want to hear take two.
No.
I don't know, man. I just think, I don't know, bro.
It's just tough, honestly.
No. Yeah, I feel like, okay, all of this, man, everything political in general, bro, is just, it's a fucking business model, right? And what I mean by that is the correct answer, or like the right answer, it's like so logical. It's so right there. But people, leaders of the different sides, split everyone up so much. And everyone is trying to find the best solution. Everyone's trying to find the answer. Everyone's trying to come together and find that peace and the open-mindedness and live together equally and peacefully. But it's these leaders that are splitting people up, and these people think that these leaders that are splitting them up are doing it for their cause. But they don't realize they're splitting them up for their own business model, for their own gain, for their own power.
I get what you're saying.
And I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Do you understand?
I get you, bro.
And that's why you see these two extreme sides going at it. When it's these leaders that are completely manipulative. None of them are for it. All of them are all talk. None of them have any fucking action. None of them. And still the people rally and gather and look up, not realizing what is right in front of their fucking nose. They are causing the wars. They are causing the issues. They need these issues to exist. So there's a power that they can grab. And no one sees it. No one, no matter how much they slap their cocks in their faces, they still don't see it. And it's insane to me how we've gone to a point where the right answer is now being made fun of. That centrism, that centrist, that in the middle kind of a little of both sides, that is made fun of, and no one sees why it's being made fun of. No one sees where it was created. It was created by these two sides, the leaders of these two sides, because they know this right answer, no one can ever figure it out. No one can ever find this. No one can ever find the true fucking cure to it all. Otherwise, these fail to exist. Do you understand? Like, I don't know when I actually that.
I hear this take given quite a bit. I have actually become so void pilled on this, and because I do a lot of political content, I actually think that like the media and where we see like political discourse, I think it's exactly where people want it to be. Here's something, right? People will complain all day. I'll defend this topic to the death, okay? Nobody gives a fuck about their privacy, okay? But man, when there's a new Facebook like article, or when there's a new article on CNN or Tech Night or whatever about like, oh my God, Facebook, Google's stealing privacy, everybody acts like, oh my God, this is the worst thing in the world. We gotta protect our privacy. You don't give a fuck about your privacy. You still use social media. You still upload all your information. You're still doing every fucking thing that you can to share as much information on the internet. Man, it is so fucking easy to dox some dude these days. It's unreal how much information people put out there. But like, they'll hop on Twitter and they'll act like, oh my fucking privacy. You don't give a fuck about your privacy, dog. It's obvious that you don't care about your privacy.
Yeah.
Because if you really did, you wouldn't be using all this shit. The reality
It's
is
all a
that
fucking
you're getting
show and business model.
Sure, but it's not just a show and business model. It's a show and business model supported by the people, right? So for like political content, you know, like I'll say this shit all the time. People are like, oh, everything is so sensationalized. Yeah, no shit, motherfucker. You don't want to watch me read about fucking Palestine for 2 hours. You want me screaming at people that like Jewish people are genociding Palestinians. That's what you want to hear. You want to hear the extreme shit, okay? Like nobody's turning on fucking streams
That's
or
like
YouTube
what
videos to watch a fucking 2-hour research stream on like, you know, well, what is the difference between like the Shia and Sunni Muslims? You don't give a fuck about that. You want to see like videos of people getting tortured or like, yeah. So like, I don't know, like
the crazy shit definitely sells for sure.
And so I don't like it when like, I'm not blaming anybody here, but like, I don't like it like people, like normal people will complain about like, oh, the media is so sensationalized. The media shows you exactly what you want to see, motherfucker. Like they're only sensationalized because that's where they make their money, because that's where you want to tune into. So I don't know.
Point. It's all a business model. It's all a business model.
Yeah, but the business model is like, it's a reciprocated thing. It feeds back into itself. The media shows people what people want to see, and then people want to see what the media is showing, because that's like the shit that we choose.
So Steven, the media doesn't push fraudulent stories?
If the media is pushing fraudulent stories, it's because people want to hear it. Yeah, dude, how many people do I talk to who are like, Destiny, like, how do you do all this research? What do you mean? I fucking Google one thing. It's that easy. Like, people are like, how do you know this shit? Like, you just Google it and you find the answer. You're not going to find the answer scrolling down your fucking Facebook meme page of like conservative or progressive fucking memes. You just have to like Google one thing and read the first fucking result. That's why like people be like, oh, it's so hard to do this. It's not hard to do it. You just don't want to, because it's not what you're interested in. Most people that do politics do it because it's like a fucking sport to them. They just want to pick a team. They want to go online and they want to make people fucking kill themselves because they have a different political opinion. That's all they give a fuck about. They don't care about what's like right or true or any of that boring shit. They just want to have fun with it.
Yeah.
Mainstream media lies every day.
So yeah.
I just want to say
fuck the media.
I just feel like the real thing is like a lot of people are misinformed about like the other side of like, you know, whatever's going on. A lot of people just don't have like empathy and shit, and like have the ability. And I think that like if more people had empathy and were able to like sit down and like be like, okay, this is why that person feels this way about me. Like, what can we actually do to change that, instead of it being like, no, I'm right. I gotta be right. I gotta be right. Like, I think that like Train, what you were saying about like the extreme is like the two sides are like, yo, we're two different sides. What sells is there being a conflict in between it. Like, we have to have that shit. That's why we have to be so extreme. So we have to lead our people to be so like angry about shit and attack and cancel people about it. I just feel like the truth is just finding like the empathy and like being able to like understand another person for like what the problem is, and people don't take that time to do that. You know what I mean? A lot of people are
It's never
misinformed.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
I know, but I think, you know, it's just like that's how I take it. When someone has a problem with me or something, I'm like, I tend to like sit back now and I'm like, okay, I can understand why this person feels that way, but you know, like you got to be able to find the common ground and put your pride aside for that.
Something we need to, I think, I don't know who said it. Maybe it was Devin Nash who said it. You should never take, wait, what was it? You should never take advice from someone what was it, that thing? Is it you who said it, Devin?
Yeah,
You should never.
Oh, yeah. Can you be more specific? I say.
Wait, you should never take criticism from someone you wouldn't take advice from, or something like that. Or maybe it was Joe Rogan.
Is this my meme about never trust a like? Are you saying like don't trust a person who doesn't have experience doing it, basically?
No, like if you don't respect somebody enough to take advice from them, you shouldn't respect them enough to take criticism from them. That's a really
that's what I'm talking about. That was probably Joe Rogan. Yeah.
Devin, it's basically never take advice from chat.
Oh yeah, I say that all the time. Yeah, like fuck the haters type of thing. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
No, even the lovers got some bad advice.
Yeah.
One of the big problems.
We're gonna say that was Joe Rogan though.
Maybe, I don't know, but some people just don't want what's best for you. Some people just want drama, and I just ignore that, or I try at least. It's better to just ignore that. And some people in your community or people who are on your social media, they might want what's best for you, and you can listen to those. Those are friends. Other people are just haters.
Yeah.
One of the big fuck ups is like, this sounds kind of mean, but I don't know how old everyone is in this podcast. Okay, I'm sorry, but like if you're 20 years old, you don't know anything about anything. You are literally just like you. I'm sorry if that sounds mad, and you're gonna disagree with me right now. And by the way, when I was 20, I would fight this harder than any of you. Okay, I would be like, fuck you. Being 20, I know shit. Okay, fuck you. Blah,
fight you.
But so here's the problem. Okay, not only are 20-year-olds fucking morons, all of them. Okay, no matter what, I love everyone on here. Okay, I don't know how old you are. Okay, not only morons, but the problem is today, because of social media, they have had louder voices and feel more important than they ever have the right to.
Oh,
okay,
my
when you were
God.
my age, when you're 20 years old, you're not shit. Okay, now you might be hot shit like in your high school, maybe in a college class. Okay, maybe you're a varsity player. Okay, but nowadays these you got like fucking Greta Thunberg or whatever. Like, no offense, I don't hate her. I don't have any will, but like, damn, she's like an international figure because she's like posting on Twitter and shit. Or you get these people that are like 19 years old that like 400,000 retweets. It's like, holy shit, I'm hyped up on some like international fucking shit. And it's like, dude, you're fucking 19, bro. What
yeah,
do you-
no,
Listen
Destiny,
here, Boomer. You might have not been shit in high school, but all right, I fucking know it's okay, bud.
Destiny,
Right.
I think you hit the nail on the head with
Prodigy,
that,
baby.
and it's something.
Destiny, you know what it is though?
Hold on, wait, Mo.
After you,
One sec.
I'm going after
Yeah,
him too.
okay. Destiny, I think
Going
you hit the nail
after
on
me.
the head.
Oh, what?
You're good. I think you hit the nail on the head with that, right? And I brought this up before, regarding cancel culture and the younger demographics that are kind of controlling it on the internet now, such as Twitter and Reddit, right? Like these people, like they're in no position to have the power of judgment. When I say judgment, I mean like the decision of like the judge, jury, executioner type shit over people's careers. Because the younger you are, the more black and white everything is, right? They don't see context. There is no gray areas. They don't understand, time and place, shit like this. Everything's black and white, right? It's very, very simple in their eyes. And it was that way for all of us at a young age, right? If you said this, right? A good example of this is when they go back and they see you said the N-word, 10, no.
Someone else, not me, but yeah, go ahead.
Not you, just like a soft A N-word, fuck it. Me, a soft A N-word to my friend on Twitter 5 years ago, right? They don't look at it and say, okay, let me look at the context here. Let me see what's going on. Let me see the time he was in. Let me see this area. They go, okay, he said this. This equals racist. He's racist. And that's it. That's the line of their thinking. And then they go into that. They go for the cancel. They go for the hammer. They go for the execution of that. And that's an issue, right? Because they don't have the experience to understand, the time and place 5 years ago, yes, now it's wrong. You look back at it. You understand what's going on, right? You understand, everything and you change and you grow. But that's the issue. It's very black and white to them. It's this equals this.
Yeah.
Nothing else matters. There are no variables. There is no context to
And
anything.
there's no
None of that
redemption.
matters.
If you did it 10 years ago,
redemption.
you're the worst,
Yeah.
and you're always going to be like that. Yeah.
It's black and white. That's the issue, right?
And
it's literally a
used
black
to-
and white perspective.
I used to complain about this, but it actually happened. So like 5 years ago, I used to say like, man, we're destroying words. Like, I don't know what they mean, blah, 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 this is bad. And now we're actually at a point where like, when somebody says some shit, this sounds bad, but like when people post shit like, oh my God, like this person's racist or this person sexually assaulted someone, it's like, I don't know what that means anymore. I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, I need to see more. Cause like when you tell me like this guy is racist, was this guy like a fucking card carrying KKK neo-Nazi? Or did this guy like make a dumb joke when he was like 15, right? Or, did this person do that? It's like, you have no idea, because like every word that somebody uses is like the worst fucking possible word to describe what could be the most benign fucking behavior. And it's like, okay, whatever. Like, is it bad? Yeah, you shouldn't do it. But
yeah, no, it doesn't. I catch people all the time using the word racist completely out of context. The definition has seemed to like fucking change over time. And I don't know how that happened.
I think it was Hassan.
No,
Yeah.
it's because of the younger generation that sees things black and white, and then when you have people trying to appease that younger generation, instead of teach them and lead them correctly, you have them wanting to gain their allegiance in a way where increases their viewership, increases their clout, increases their audience. Instead of leading and teaching them, what they do is they give in to them, right? They almost
they're so
make them their
powerful now.
leaders.
Yeah.
And then now what we have is the transformation of words that don't mean what they mean anymore. Now we have people calling people racist, like over things that, like you said, are benign.
I got
And
called
this
racist
is
for
why.
making a Middle Eastern impression on stream the other day.
Yeah, this is why. And I've actually had this conversation with the leaders of these or I shouldn't say leaders, but the people that have these demographics watch them, and they can leak the text. I told them, I'm like, listen, when you have this power, you cannot let these kids that don't know anything. And I went in on them. I'm like, listen, these guys don't know the difference between them needing to take a shit or if it's their fucking first crush. They don't know what butterflies and having to take a shit, the difference between those two feelings are. And then we're having them dictate, people's careers, the rest of their life, their reputations, based on some shit that they have no experience or no business judging or looking into with their just lack of experience selves. It's ridiculous.
Also, it's kind of fun though. The people who like virtue signal the hardest, I like wait till they get leaked, saying something. That's the funniest part, when a streamer is like virtue signaling hard and then it leaks.
Yeah, it happens with a lot of like.
I'm not talking about Steven. I'm not.
I know. I hate that this is like the stereotype, but it happens with a lot of like the left-leaning ultra. I hate that this is a thing because I never believed it. But with a lot of the ultra left-leaning guys that are like that talk about like all the sex shit or whatever that end up getting Me Too, that are like the ultra positive, like oh massive consent, blah 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 blah, and then like so many of these guys will have like a Me Too story and shit come out, and it's like damn dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like that seems to happen like over and over again. Or yeah, you get these people that like virtue signal the hardest that are like. The worst is the ones that, not to get into other, but like they do it and then like, but they'll defend their friends for clout who are like making these mistakes that they would crucify other people for committing too is also kind of annoying, but yeah.
Do you guys think it's because these younger people, like now more than ever, kids can make crazy big money without doing much, like with social media being a thing?
I actually think the bigger problem is that they think they can. The vast majority won't, but they're all going for that clout, and that causes everybody to race to the bottom.
I agree. That's true.
I don't know. I feel like with a lot of this, it's like it just seems like there's always a shift. There's like people fight for equality and they say they want this and that, and then it's like as they gain more power, they become the very things that they.
Dude, that's 100% facts. That's 100% facts.
True, man. That seems to be a thing.
We live in a generation. I don't know when this fucking happened. But we live in a time where talk is greater than action. And that's a fucking fact, bro. It's a fact. Everyone talks the talk. I don't see one motherfucking leader in today's day and age walking the fucking walk at all. And these little fucking inexperienced, dumbass fucking virtue signaling kids.
His name was Trump.
Oh God.
We had one. I'm just saying. Just so we had one.
He did walk the walk. You might not have walked the way. You might not have liked the way he was walking, but he walked it already.
Did you sign up for the truth? Did you sign up for the Truth social media?
Dude, you know what?
was on that shit like fucking.
What is that? What is that? I'll sign up right now.
It's Trump just announced his new social media website.
Oh, dude.
He did?
Yeah, he did. He, like a couple of days ago, and then I think it immediately got shut down like a couple hours after it came out because everybody was posting like
the hippo shit.
Yeah.
I think it's because it didn't have a firewall.
Wait, are Arabs allowed on the website?
Come on, firewall.
If you're willing to wear a hat and stand in the back of rallies, we'll talk.
Yep.
Devin, that joke was fire. What the fuck?
Dude, you want to know what's fucking insane though? To your point though, Train, is I can't think of one that's like a leadership role, like Mo jokingly said Trump, right? I can't think of one.
Mo
person.
wasn't joking.
Well, I know. I can't think of one person that is like that. That is like actually someone for like the youth to look up to. It's like under fucking 40. Like,
wait, Mo, was it you who
like,
put a lot of money on Trump winning?
No, but I switched it, and then me and Destiny made some
How
money
much did you lose? How much?
No, we
didn't lose anything, man.
We won.
What a crazy night.
That was such one political
I cashed it out
podcast.
when it was higher.
So
and
wait,
I put all
Mo.
the winnings on what's his name, Biden.
So you actually won?
Yeah. Because midway through, you guys somehow convinced me that he was gonna lose
because we were watching the votes come in per county.
I cashed out when it was high.
So you hold on, Mo. So you won like Trump.
Yeah.
It ain't.
The real one.
Nice.
I actually won though, and
I thought you lost money because I saw a clip.
No, because I cashed out of my Trump bet when it was on top, when Trump was winning, and then you guys convinced me Destiny also convinced me to bet it all on Biden. So I literally put all the money I won on Trump, because up to that point he was winning. I put it on Biden, and then Biden really won. So then I just made more money, and I gave Steven his half of the winnings.
Oh, wow.
What a night.
Easy money, dude. Easy money, dude.
You actually gave Steven half?
That was such a fun.
Wait, no, wait. Well, because I stayed, because I gave him. He didn't just donate me money. Yeah.
No, he was putting money in.
I went with it. Yeah.
He didn't need to put the money in because we ended up winning. But if we lost, he would have sent me half.
Yeah.
You guys gamble on the presidential election?
Wasn't gambling, baby. We knew 100%.
Yeah.
It's called a gamble if you don't know the outcome, homie.
you gamble on the weather.
On the weather?
Can you gamble on the weather? Because that's a hard gamble.
Yeah.
You could gamble on. I think you could gamble on almost anything.
Bro, that'd
Probably.
be fun. Gambling on the weather, that'd be really fucking fun.
Train, you want to do that?
I'm so down.
Don't give him any ideas.
What is it that
It
you
might
can't
be
predict, like
healthy.
earthquakes, right? Imagine earthquakes, 1,001 Train.
Bro, I am down to do earthquake gamble. That sounds so fun.
Oh no.
You want to do a 5K coin
Train,
flip
people
right now?
could be dying, bro. You don't just want to gamble?
Sure, bro.
It'd be fucked up.
Heads or
dude.
tails?
Heads always.
You could gamble on like severity of like hurricanes in like Florida. You
know
got
I
like
won.
3
I
people
got you.
streaming. You see whose connection drops
No, you're
first or
good.
whatever
Keep
to
it
lose the
category
bet.
don't-
Fives will there be?
Keep your
You should
5,000 myth.
You should do tornado.
I gotta
game.
take care of my elders.
Will be the
Yeah.
only one.
Okay. No, keep your 5K, bro.
Okay, fine.
Just give me 100. We're even.
All right, true.
All right.
So
Cool.
what is this platform?
Twitch?
Isn't it called the Truth
It's
Social?
called Truth Social. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it is. Truth
Yeah,
Media or
That's the
Truth Social.
Trump's. Is it up again?
So this is another situation. I was gonna say Valkyrie situation, but it's not 1-to-1. Sorry, but a situation where a company approaches an influencer and says, "Hey, we're gonna build this whole thing for you. Just stand behind it." I don't think like Trump. Trump is. I doubt has like much to do with it. He's just kind of sponsoring it, and that's that. It's a company putting it together
You're
under
saying
him.
Trump and
Oh, you're
Valkyrie
saying
are the
it's
same
like-
person.
so is it-
No, I'm not saying that.
Yo,
You
guys,
just said
it's like the next level.
Is this like the next Mixer?
No. Mixer was out of all social media platforms, I think Mixer was the most stringent in terms of rules, right? Like it was very PC because they were trying to get the cash in on those family-friendly sponsors. But this is not going to be family-friendly. It looks like.
But so that was Trump's website. What was it called again?
This is the
Truth
beginning of the
Social.
end, people.
They're advertising it as a place for left and right people to go have discourse without getting banned. Their argument is that, like, I guess existing social platforms
Sounds like
skew
all
left.
right.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is true though. They really do though.
Sounds like no left.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, because the problem is that
because-
left-leaning people, if they ever are in a platform, they'll either demand that all the right-leaning people get banned, and then if they don't get banned, then they all leave. So every subreddit or every forum or everything, it'll start off with both people there, but then the left-leaning people are like, you need to ban all these right-leaning people. They're all racist Nazis. And then if the moderators don't do it, then all the left people are like, oh, well, we're leaving. And then then it will become all Nazis because those will be like the only people left.
Have
So
you
it's
guys
like
seen
super
the,
stupid.
that default setting on Instagram? You guys know
What's
what I'm
that?
talking about?
Default?
Default.
Here we go. Let me pull it up. It's actually
What is
like
that?
kind of
I kind of want to use Trump's social media.
kind of fucking terrifying when you think about it. Where is this? Let me make sure I can find it. Okay. You go to settings, account, sensitive content control,
Thank you, Myth.
and it's on default is limit.
Myth, I'm live too.
What does that mean? What is it gonna do?
That means that like
Money's tight.
so you choose to follow someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if like I don't know how the fuck the algorithm works. I have no idea how it works with this, but like I'm imagining if 5 people report it, they find it, mildly offensive or whatever, like it will literally fucking hide it from their own following. And that's fucking scary. to
I
think
feel
about
like
because
YouTube
shit's
does that
on-
too.
Yeah, I think a lot of
No,
platforms
dude,
automatically
I think
do it.
all of them do, but like
Yeah.
on Instagram, it's actual fucking setting.
Wow,
I don't
people.
Where do you
But-
see
We're
it?
gonna be
Where do I go?
So you go to settings, account, and then there's a tab called sensitive content control.
I'm worried about the world. Like it's gonna be we're gonna have so much snowflakes
Yeah.
all over the world.
The problem is that,
Dude,
like,
everybody's-
I think about that constantly. I
Yeah.
agree so much. I'm so worried about that. Yeah.
Well, it's funny, right?
You know
Because
what?
I want
I-
to limit even more. Go ahead.
when I started on the internet when I was 15 or something, I was in a group call, a random group call on Messenger or a group conversation. We just random guys from the internet, and they sent me like gore, and they sent me like beheadings and like bunch of stuff. And I started when I was 15, and I think that I'm a changed person because of that. I don't know for the better, but
Like a good change, right?
well,
yeah, I think so. I
No, hold on, let's not promote that.
No, I'm not promoting it, but I'm not gonna look at something and be offended in the
Were
first.
you masturbating?
If you don't want to
to
be a
this
snowflake,
Jesus
watch
Christ.
beheadings.
Chill out, bro.
Like, I don't know what you're into.
that's definitely a weird
Chill.
topic, but I feel like everyone has had that moment, whether you're watching a fucking movie or
I've seen that shit and it changed it for the worst, in my opinion. That shit fucking fucked me up. Don't ever watch that shit. It'll fuck you up.
But the crazy thing in Sweden we had this website called Existence or something, and everyone, I promise you, every single kid from like 12 to 20 were watching that thing, and it was all that stuff, like weird, every kind of porn,
Live Leaks
every
is
kind
lit.
of
Jesus
beheadings
Christ.
and gore, like every Swedish person. I promise you.
Damn, Sweden sounds
What did I
crazy.
miss?
Well, that's like an extreme
I've been there
argument,
once.
I think. Like, I think
that does sound like.
I don't think, yeah, like I understand your argument, right? But I think we can bring it more to the middle and just say like experiencing life, getting slapped in the face when you shit talk somebody, like simple shit like this that you go through everyday life when you step on grass and you go outside, right? That's the kind of stuff that I think brings people down. You know, like for example, I was making a joke on my personal stream saying that if we had a college course, right, for today's time, a college course where a man and a woman, professor, are, you know, stand in front of the class, and then you know here's the course, okay? Kids go in the class, or the young adults go in the class. They walk down the fucking you know, the fucking seating area. They walk down, and each of them, right? You know, the females go into the woman, and the males come in the man. And each of them just a smack in the fucking face, and they're dismissed. I'm telling you right now, that would fix our snowflake situation by a lot. No bullshit. That would fix a lot of the shit we're dealing with on the internet, on Twitter, on Reddit, 100%. That would fix so many issues.
Why would that again?
Say that again.
I don't know. I was never hit when I was a
they're
kid.
getting smacked for no reason. That's not
No.
You know what?
They understand what
Teacher,
No, they're getting smacked to understand what it feels like. Do you understand when you get smacked, whether it's for good reason or no reason? I'm telling you, it brings you to a place whether it's hurt, whether it's feeling like it was deserved or not deserved. Self-reflection is created there, okay, and you get humbled. Do you understand? You fucking get humbled. Now, in no way am I promoting. Violence. Don't smack anybody ever. I'm saying this. If this is a college fucking course or some shit, none of you do this shit. Don't be dumbasses. You'll go to fucking jail. But
go ahead.
But listen, I'm saying like consent waivers signed and shit like that. This is the course. People sign up for it. That's what I'm saying.
The only thing that I've learned in the past 5 minutes is to fix the fact that I'm an arrogant, stupid 22-year-old content creator. Is that I need to watch beheadings and get smacked in the fucking face.
No.
You want to know what the real
Kandyland thing? Ignore the Kandyland thing. Do not watch beheadings.
I think if you're going to, I think that you should have to watch fucking people getting executed, all that gore shit. If you're gonna vote for it. If you want to vote in favor of the death penalty, you should have to watch a video of a dude getting fucking electrocuted or lethal injected. If you can't handle even watching it, why the fuck are you voting for other people to do it? That's my hot take on that shit. Same thing with war-related shit. You should have to watch the people get their fucking heads blown off with some fucking Tomahawk missiles or whatever, or some cruise missiles. If you're going to vote for us to go over the Middle East and do it. Because if you can't even handle watching it, who the fuck are you to vote for other people to suffer it? I think that's fair.
I like that thing.
Oh my god, so true. Like, I've always been against violence and guns and everything. Maybe that's because I saw that from a very young age.
Yeah, but the argument, but I feel like the argument for the Tomahawk, for like the missile stuff.
Somebody coughing? Was that
I'm so sorry.
It's probably
my brother. He's smoking.
I was trying to look. I was like, who the fuck's coffee? I don't see anyone coughing.
I feel like crazy. Dude. Like,
honestly, I'm high. Usually I'm muted.
He has the dummy.
I was looking at fucking Steam's face, and I was like, "Is this motherfucker coughing? How's he doing?"
I can cough without moving.
Okay. My bad.
That was a deep ass cough too. That shit was deep.
I feel like the military argument is a little different for this reason, Steven. Okay. I think it's different for this reason. I think what needs to actually happen before you vote for that kind of stuff isn't watching it. I think it's being put into an impossible situation. Because I don't think it's fair that we don't know it. Like, for example, okay, imagine you're put into a situation where both decisions you have to make are absolute fucking dog shit. Both of them are going to be a bad outcome. Do you understand?
Sure, like you live in northwest Iraq, okay? ISIS comes rolling through. They open your door and they say, do you want to join ISIS or do you want us to like rape and murder your fucking family? It's like, well, fuck, I guess I'm signing up for, because that's real life for a lot of Kurdish people that lived in Kurdistan in northwest Iraq. That was like reality. A lot of people, and it pisses me off too. I hate it when any American talks about anything that goes on in the Middle East, right? People will say some shit like, oh, these guys joined ISIS or the Taliban. These guys are fucking evil. It's like, bro, like you go to fucking a state school in college. You don't have to make these choices every day. Yeah, no fucking shit. Some of these people signed up for this shit because they like it was either that or die or their families die. You know, like Jesus.
Yeah, it applies to that side as well. But at the end of the day, right? Like, both decisions suck. Do you understand?
Yeah, true. Sometimes life doesn't have a good decision. Yeah, 100%.
Yes. So what needs to happen is each person needs to go through that. Like, I feel like the people on the extreme left that say, like, their solution is just peace, right? When these motherfuckers came and make peace with fucking Republicans, but they want world peace across fucking countries and religions, but they came and make peace with fucking Republicans because it makes them fucking money not to make peace. It just doesn't make any sense. right? So it's like, what's the solution then, right? That's the issue.
Or people are saying like, we need to be more tolerant of different ideas. But if you're like, I like cops, you're like, oh, I didn't know you were a fucking Nazi. It's like, whoa, bro, what? My dad's like Jesus.
Figure out the solution for world peace. We need to do something like for example, like Elon Musk or someone, they become an alien, they pretend to be an alien, they come to the earth and they say, we are now the leaders, we're removing all weapons of mass destruction and all weapons and guns and everything, and we're gonna listen to them because we're so scared. That would be so good if someone did that. Do that.
My favorite take on this, have you guys ever heard of a book called Ender's Game?
Yeah.
Ender's Game did this really well, where there was an alien war and Earth came together, but every single moment that war drew closer to an end, everybody was thinking about what the fuck is next. As soon as this war ends, we're all gonna like turn on each other again and shit's gonna go right back to where it was. And that was like the idea of everybody. And I think it would be the same if there was any type of like conflict like that. I mean, but like, let's be real. If the past fucking 2 years has taught us anything, if aliens came and blew our fucking planet up, half the motherfuckers on this planet wouldn't think the aliens were real until they were right outside their door, like shooting them up. Like that's just how it fucking goes now.
That is, no, I agree with that as well.
Ain't no flying saucer in the sky.
That's fucking facts. I don't
They
know, bro.
can make it so everybody believes it. Like they put this big. They do something. They probably
Like
have
a vaccine that we all have
to.
to take that injects us with thoughts.
No.
I'm still a fan. I think one of the biggest things that we can do. I'm not sure. I don't have this all the way sorted out yet. One of the biggest things we can do to kind of like remove snowflake culture is we got to allow minor violence in schools. If people want to fight it out, just let them do it. And then separate them, shake hands, it's done. I think so. You can learn so much from minor violence.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not,
hold on. Everyone clear.
You will learn.
Hold on. Everyone clear for a sec. Devin, listen. Devin, no, wait. Stop. Krim, stop real quick. Everyone stop. Devin, this is the one instance where I need you to simplify that word, that verbiage, whatever the fuck, okay? When you say minor violence, it comes across very bad. Just say...
Why?
Because minor violence, when you say minor violence, it sounds like a fucking goddamn stabbing or fucking killing or some shit.
No, that's major violence.
Yeah, I know, but violence just sounds bad. Like, it's not violence.
So then I'll clarify that.
Just say people need to get smacked the shit out of from time to time.
These days, you get in a fight with somebody at a school, you get 3 conflict officers, you get separated immediately, you've got parent-teacher shit, write-ups, all that stuff. Just let them have it out. Have them like hit each other a little bit, to shake hands, and you'd be better for it. I'm better because I got my. Listen, I'll tell this story.
But how do you know this, Devin?
I'll tell you how I know. I'll tell you how I know.
Devin's right.
I was in high school, okay? And this is my first day at high school. I fucking went and sat on these senior benches, okay? But the benches, they're painted benches that are different than all the other benches, okay? Yeah. And I went and sat on them. And some seniors came up to me and they said, hey, those are senior benches. Now, I'd been in martial arts for a bunch of years and I'm like, fuck this. I can take on 3 seniors, no problem. I got my fucking ass beat, okay? Straight up. Just got my ass fucking kicked. And you know what? I learned a lot about respecting people from that.
Yeah, but Devin, it wouldn't change much. Snowflakes need strong father figures.
I think everyone needs to get beat up once.
Snowflakes need strong father figures, and that's it. Really goes down to the family.
Here's why.
I'm not saying it's a cure-all.
Here is why that wouldn't fix anything either. Here's why that wouldn't fix anything either. Okay. Here's the real problem in all of it. Okay. And I think we've talked on the podcast before. And here's the real issue. If you want to get to the goddamn root of it, okay. Here's the real issue. Well, yeah, parenting is a big issue, but here's the real issue, okay? It's the internet. And here's what I mean by the internet.
Oh,
okay?
Shit, we're back.
No. The same fucking internet. Shut the fuck up. The same arguments that we've given for, I've heard Destiny give this argument, and it's completely correct, right? Back in the day, right? If there was a, full-blown ignorant racist somewhere living in, Arizona, and there was one somewhere in fucking Louisiana, right? They had no connection. They had no touch. So slowly, as time passed, things were dying out. People were becoming right, and then the internet connected everybody. So now, instead of being alone in your area and slowly having to kind of open your mind and learn what's going on, now you can connect with fucking 14,000 other fucking racists that sit there in your little echo chamber and your little bubble, and they fucking refortify everything that you think. This is happening on a minor level with these snowflake people, right? They can get slapped in the face at school, but they're coming back right on the internet, and they're getting into a fucking lobby with fucking 14,000 other snowflakes, and they're refortifying their snowflake bullshit culture and their snowflake bullshit ideas. That's the issue. The issue is we have these fucking rooms that they can go into and escape and See, escaping back in the day for gamers was different. We didn't abuse it like that. It's being abused now.
Matchmaking.
It's being abused now. It's being abused, and people are escaping from reality and creating their fucking own in a bad way, and they're able to stay closed-minded because of it. And that is the issue. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I think it doesn't. I think, though, that it's even worse when you have those same systems being reinforced in real life. And I'll give an example. At a California university, I was giving a talk on esports, and there was a conflict in like the hallway. Somebody thought that another person was appropriating their culture because they were wearing dreadlocks. This is like actually happened, okay? And like before these two students had a discussion, they got separated immediately. This wasn't a fight, mind you. This is just like an argument. And there's these conflict resolution officers that work for the school, and they put one person in a room and the other person in the room, and they mediate between those two people, and you're not allowed to have a discussion. That really happens at California universities. So like as long as we're reinforcing this kind of stuff on like a ground level, it gets even worse when you take it up to the internet because there's no place to challenge these people.
I would say that there are pros and cons to certain things, but I would be careful to say that we should go back to doing everything how we used to do it for two reasons. One is because we only see the survivors, and on this platform, we are hardcore over selecting for it. So chances are, not to jerk us all off because I don't like that shit, but chances are everybody in this room is probably an exceptional person. So all of us have probably experienced some level of adversity that we probably responded to in an atypical way, because if we were typical, we wouldn't be streamers with big audiences, right? So that's one thing. Secondly, okay, no offense, and I'm sorry, but whatever used to happen to people, millennial parents, or not millennial parents, boomer parents sucked, okay? So whatever they were doing or whatever was happening for them in school clearly didn't fucking work, okay? Because a lot of these parents were shit. You have a big problem when you've got a whole generation of boomers complaining about their kids because they're your fucking kids, okay? It's like complaining about your car, or complaining about like your dog, or complaining about like, bro, it's your shit. How are you gonna fucking complain about the behavior of like your 8-year-old or your 9-year-old or now your 14-year-old, your 15? Like, you're talking about like people getting too many participation medals. Motherfucker, who do you think are the teachers? It's you guys. You're the ones giving them out, right? Especially when the people that came before you, right? You know, like Zoomers now are complaining about like, oh, we've got a hard life. We've lived through the hardest life we've ever seen. Like 100 years ago, motherfuckers were going to fucking overseas to World War II and shit, man. Or like people go to fucking Vietnam. Like, damn, chill. Like, I know it sucks that you can't live in fucking West Hollywood, okay? But you're doing okay, bud. All right? You got a cell phone that's more powerful than the fucking spaceship that landed on the moon in '69, okay? Your life is okay, all right? It's not as horrible as you think it is. So yeah, I mean, like
the reason why they could go to war is because they had strong father figures. The manifestation of capitalism is neoliberal society, and it makes people so weak. And talk to me about the mental health right now, Steven, go ahead. Talk about the mental health right now.
The mental health is bad. It's bad.
It's clearly working. Your way is clearly working.
The internet fucked us all. The internet is fucking everybody.
Okay.
The internet is fucking everybody.
It's the internet.
It's the internet. It is the internet. Yeah.
It for sure is though. I think it might be though.
It is. It absolutely is, man. Dude, I do not envy. So this is where younger people now, where people like Myth, I guess, will have more input than people like me, right? When I went to school,
fuck yeah.
When you left school, you could unplug from social life. If you weren't hanging out with friends, you could actually go home and be like, oh, okay, like today sucked, but But nowadays, man, you don't have an escape from any of that shit. You motherfuckers have phones constantly. You got social media, you got Twitter, you got Instagram, you got Snapchat, you got fucking WhatsApp, you got fucking Facebook. Like, you're constantly connected. And you have all those constant pressures of like the socialization and everything. And dude, I just can't imagine how toxic the snowballing is of all of that shit into every fucking facet of your life where you're connected to it 24/7.
Oh, that shit is really bad. That shit
I
is
really
bad.
hope that goes away soon.
The social expectations that you usually deal with in school are then brought on to the online realm.
Yeah,
that you then have to deal with in middle school and high school. That was a big problem.
Yeah.
Some girl was actually like really fucking bullied and like I think she attempted suicide because like people made fun of her nose like on Instagram in like middle school and high school. But it's like you wouldn't deal with that outside of school, and like kids weren't kids like. Some kids, would fuck around with that in person, but not to the degree that they would online because obviously they're able to hide behind like the fucking keyboard at the moment.
Yeah, and you don't have like a breather. It's like when you work a shitty job that's like customer service, but like the best parts of that job, no matter how bad the customer is when you can go to the back and vent to like other employees. You're like, all right, I need a break from these horrible fucking customers. But you don't get any breaks anymore. You're always fucking on. I remember when I was in high school and the expectation started to change around texting. Like, believe it or not, you could date somebody and not talk to them for like 3 or 4 days because you either don't see to him in class, you don't go to the same school or whatever, you're like, oh yeah, I'll talk to you on Friday or whatever. Now, but then when texting, this was when I was in high school, like 2005, 2006, 2007, when that shit started to change, when people got like flip phones and shit, you were expected to be connected to your significant other 24 fucking 7.
Yeah. Oh, I remember like if the guy I was dating didn't text in the morning, I was like, he hates me now. Oh my God, he's gonna break up with me just because he didn't text one time in the morning or something.
Here's another major issue, okay? Have you ever, I mean, this happens to me on the internet as well, but I think for a lot of, but that's because I'm a streamer and I'm like on cam all the time. But have you ever in person, you know, been mean to somebody, seen their reaction and it breaks your heart and you contemplate for the next fucking 3 months, right? Like, that's the kind of shit that we don't have anymore. No one has. They sit there bullying the fuck out of people. And because they don't see...
Wait, you didn't apologize after your reaction?
Everyone's
Of course I
conflict
apologized.
avoidant.
I'm just saying that no one is connected to anybody so that they can sit there and their masses bullying the shit out of people. And then as soon as one thing's done to them, they fucking have the masses to have their back to can't... Like, it's like, everyone's such a fucking hypocrite, man. And this goes back to the Dave Chappelle story. At the end of the story, he talked about the transgender individual that backed him up on Twitter. And then the LGBT community, which sees every transgender individual as their people, literally bullied their own people to the brink of suicide, right? It's like, it just seems like there's this huge hypocrisy going on because no one can actually see anyone that they're doing the damage to. And because of that, they don't feel anything. They think it's okay. But like when you see somebody, there's a connection there as a human being and you feel for them, even if they're in the wrong and you shit talk them, you look at them, you still feel bad if you're a decent human being, right? And I think that being void from everything is causing a big disconnect. And that disconnect is what's causing us to further kind of, I don't know if the word's transgress.
Dehumanize people.
Yeah, it's just like that's another big fucking issue.
I notice this playing League versus CS:GO. People always talk about like voice chat had so much toxicity. Voice chat had so much toxicity. When I played CS:GO, I always knew who the most toxic motherfucker would be. It's when you started the game and everybody called a spot and somebody started typing, and it's like that motherfucker's not on voice chat. That's the one that's about to go off and be like the biggest piece of shit. Because it's a lot harder to be mean to somebody when you're talking to them. That requires like way more evil intent. Like, you know, if somebody's like having a bad game and they're like sorry or whatever, like it's really hard to be. But when you start texting, you start typing on your keyboard, you can say all sorts of crazy shit.
Oh, it's always like that when I play League of Legends and I start dying and I'm like, fuck, this is gonna be a bad game. I always do /mute all because I know I'm gonna get flamed. Oh, it's awful.
No, that's terrible.
Listen, to those of you that in chat that can't understand what I'm saying with that Dave Chappelle reference of the girl that, you know, got bullied. Listen, I've been supportive of the trans community for a very, very long time, but there is a hypocrisy on Twitter for all the communities, not just transgender communities, all of the communities, whether it's like fucking
the vegan community.
No. It could even just be Valkyrie's demographic of fucking 13-year-olds that sit there and do this and do that. Like for some reason, like it's the weirdest thing. And this is the same young age thing that goes back to our argument earlier to why they just don't have the experience to be doing this kind of stuff. How the fuck can you cancel others for being mean or doing certain things years ago and then use that as a justification to be even more fucking cruel back onto them? Do you understand? Like that is like, if you want to be the superior, bigger human in the argument or in the justice that you're trying to find, it is not to give them back the same thing you're punishing them for and worse. You understand? There is no justification for that. And this young age bullshit doesn't understand that, and this is the experience they lack. They do that. They find the exact right. Do you understand this? That's one of the biggest issues that I see when they find the justification to cancel someone. They don't do it in the way that someone that's actually trying to find justice does it. They do it in a way that someone that's trying to find clout and make a name off of the cancellation does it. Do you understand? And that's a big fucking issue because they're not looking for justice. At this point, they're looking for attention for being the good person. And that no longer is the good thing to do. That's someone that's trying to find a shortcut to success, and I hate that.
The easiest counter to all of that shit is when somebody like gets on like some public thing and they're like, I'm calling out you because you need to do better behavior on this particular blah blah blah. Like I don't like the way it's like, okay, well why didn't you just DM him?
Yeah.
Why the fuck are you like screaming this from the fucking rooftops? Like, it sounds like it's more important to get like your credit than it is to like change
Everyone's
this
looking for that
individual's
credit.
behavior. Yeah.
It's so fucking.
And they'll always say
disgusting.
some BS like, "Oh well, that person wouldn't have even seen the DM or got back to
Bro,
me or whatever."
I use this argument jokingly all the time. The same motherfuckers that scream at the top of their political campaigns about rehabilitation of rapists and serial killers can't even fucking forgive someone that said the fucking F word 6 years ago.
Bro, that's so true. People will be like,
It's
yeah,
so
the
true.
death penalty is so bad and blah, 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 blah. And then they'll be like, oh, that guy, he said the F slur when he was 14. He needs to fucking die, okay? He should never be on the internet ever. And it's like, bro, what happened to
It's
rehabilitative
ridiculous.
justice? Yeah.
Yes.
Or people will say shit like, yeah, like no death, everybody needs to be rehabilitated. And then some shit will come out where like somebody did like a bad crime, like or a cop did some shit. I'm like, I hope he gets fucking raped to death in prison. Like, bro, what the fuck?
Yes.
Like, holy shit, Jesus. Like, I don't know what, like my head is
so
spinning.
hypocritical. It's so hypocritical. I can't. I just can't even handle it these days. Where there's so many weird things that oh man, it's just all such a mind fuck.
And it's like, well, I don't even know what the fuck what do you actually believe in? Like, it sounds like whatever you believe in is whatever will get you the most like fucking Twitter engagement at that point in time. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
It's like everyone is a politician because that's what politicians do. They don't even care about what they're saying. They just want people to vote for them.
That's right.
It sucks.